Hey, what's up everybody? This is Eric, the Bay Area Collector, and today, because it's getting close to the holidays, we're going to be doing a close review of the Nintendo Switch. In no way am I endorsed by Nintendo, endorsed by Walmart, Target, any of those big stores. This is just my opinion that I have about the system, and to give you guys a quick view of the system if you are choosing to purchase it for the holidays or just because or for any other reason. So stay tuned and I'll give you guys a quick review of the system. So the Nintendo Switch came out around March or April of 2017. It debuted here in the States. And one of the launch titles that it had was the Super Mario Brothers Odyssey game that was launched with it, amongst a couple of other games. One of the cool things about the system is that it is very compact. It's very lightweight, very portable. Despite even the carrying case for the system is portable. It's not that big. The only thing I don't really like about it is the controls. For someone like me, I'm a very tall person, so for me to hold the controls and everything, they feel very flimsy. Even the construction overall of the system is a little bit flimsy. It's kind of like you have to be careful of not knocking it down. However, it's a pretty good console. It's I have fun collecting this console. Especially the games. The games are very small. They're compact. It doesn't take a lot of space in your game system or anything like that. So the games, they look kind of like a small chip. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is Mario Odyssey. It's like a small USB, like a small SD card. But I like the cards. I love the way they did the games. This is a really cool way to make cartridges of today. From back in the days, Nintendo would have those big blocky cartridges, but these are very, very portable, very good to carry. When I bought my system, I bought it around June of this year of 2018, right before we went to our Disneyland vacation. My son has been wanting this console since last Christmas, but I kind of, held back buying it. But then around the summertime, I decided to say, hey, why not? I did my research on it, and it ended up being a pretty decent console to have. When I bought it, I got this case on sale at GameStop. It went on, actually it was on discount. It was like $14.99 when I purchased it. It came with two screen protectors for the system. I don't know if you guys can see that. As well as it came with a little carrying case. Very soft, very well made. It has room for 5 for about 10 games. Plus the one inside your system and the system itself. So I love this case. I have no problem. It's very sturdy, very comfortable. And I like this case. So another thing about the Nintendo Switch library of games, one of the major reasons why I held back buying the console back when it came out was because the library of games at the time, it wasn't big. And now by the time I bought it in the summertime, it grew amongst from games like digital games. I have a bunch here on the system. I have a lot of digital games. I'll take you through them. I have Bleed. I have this one, Save Me, Mr. Taco. Bleed 1 and 2, The Dear God. I got a bunch of games on the console. It really, it's, the games are not that expensive. There's some that are cheap, and they're good games. So, it grew. The library of games grew, and, that really turned me on into getting the system. One of the things, I like doing, like I said, collecting the games, is the cases that they come with. They're very small, very, very thin. You'll have a lot of space in your living room or area where you're displaying your console or where you have the console playing. Plus the cartridges, they're just fun. I don't know. To me, it's fun to collect these. One of the gripes about this that I don't like is as you can see, the prices on the games on some of these, the prices are a little bit expensive right now for this system. You got systems like the Xbox One and the PS4. When I go to GameStop or I go to other stores like Target or Walmart, some of those games tend to be a little bit cheaper. For example, Mega Man Legacy 1 and 2. I got this game for about $30 when it came out, but right now, you know, I say the Nintendo Switch games, they tend to be a little bit more expensive. Example, Owlboy, that's another game. I didn't know that it came out on other systems. You know, they're a bit cheaper. Whereas the Nintendo Switch, the games tend to be a bit more expensive. Axiom Verge, for instance, well, this is one of those games that are becoming to be sought after. Very good Metroidvania. I haven't played it yet, but I can't wait to play it. Yes, the price on it, you know, when I got it, I bought it brand new for $29.99. But I seen it for less at, you know, at other places for the other systems. But then this one for the Nintendo Switch, it just doesn't go down yet, you know. So that's one of the things about this console that, you know, can get a little bit crazy right now at the moment, you know, because it's kind of fairly new compared to the other consoles like the Xbox One and the PS4. So yes, they tend to be a little bit more expensive. However, there's a couple of really great priced games on the virtual, not the virtual console, but on the Nintendo Switch online, the eShop. So there's a couple of pretty good priced games. For example, that one, Save Me Mr. Taco, that just came out on October 30th. I bought it a few days before it was released because it was on sale for like $9.99. And it has kind of like a look, kind of like the Game Boy Color times, those type of games. And it looked like a good game. I haven't played it yet, but it seemed like a really fun game, kind of similar to Kirby, similar to the old Game Boy games. So we'll give it a go and see how it is. Maybe in the future I'll do a review of that game. One of the bad things about this system, though, is that you'll definitely want to get an expansion SD card, and the SD cards for this are not that cheap. They're a little bit expensive. However, at Walmart, I was able to get the SD card for a good price. I guess they had a sale. And if you guys can see right there in the back of the clip is where the SD, I don't want to take it off because I have the system running, but if you can see, let me turn it off so you guys can take a look at it. Let's press the button right here at the top, press and hold it for a second, and then we want to go to power options, select A, and then turn it off, and it should shut off. And you can turn it over right here, and yes, I bought one of these micro SD cards. I don't know if you guys can see it. 64 gigabyte. I got it on sale from Walmart for $19.99 about 2 months ago, and it works really well on it. But this is the type of SD card you're gonna have to purchase for the system. The only problem about the SD card you'll see right now is that it sucks up on memory. For example, if you buy a game, I just purchased Resident Evil Revelations 2. I bought it because I got it on sale for the console, and it took off a whopping 24 gigabytes. So it took up a lot of my card memory. And that's one of the major gripes that I have about the system, is the fact that the memory is very, you know, the system internally only takes about 14 gigs plus that 64 in that game. Let me see if I could see the options, and it'll show the software. Let me see software information right here. Yeah, it doesn't give me, but it's a big file. Trying to see, I forgot how to get through there, but yeah, it's a very big file for that particular game. However, these like Bleed and those, the files on those games are not that big. But if you buy like a big budget title, like for example, say you get like Mario Brothers Odyssey, if you get that title, it's gonna take up a lot of memory. So yes. So another thing I don't like about the system, but it's not really a big deal for me, but I kind of don't like, is the fact that it sucks up a lot of battery. Not only are you charging the pad, you're also charging the controllers. So because of that, it's only going to give you about a 3 hours of playtime as far as the main console. I don't really have an issue with that because I usually play it on the TV. However, if I go to bed, say before going to sleep, I take it to my bedroom and play a couple of games for a little bit. It's not that bad. One tip I want to tell everybody is if you ever do get this console, to conserve your battery, I strongly suggest that you charge it, and once it's charged to 100%, remove it from the actual docking station, because not only is this docking station used to play the games on the TV, it's also used to charge. So this charges on both the console and the control. Here's a little picture of where the HDMI parts go, the USB AC adapter. It sucks up on some battery. So my strongest suggestion would be to put it in like your case for a couple of days if you don't plan on using it a lot, so that way you can serve on the battery. But yeah, I strongly suggest charge it and then remove it so you don't waste it. Doesn't charge all the time onto your loading deck of the console, and that'll save you. I guess it'll protect your battery life on your system. Going back on the games, another thing that I didn't like was that Nintendo this September just introduced to the Virtual Console. So that means that you'll have access to the retro games, like the old Nintendo, Super Nintendo titles and all that. They're going to be available on the Nintendo Online. It's called Nintendo Switch Online. However, the thing that I don't like about it is that it seems, maybe I'm wrong, so if anybody has any comments, you can go ahead and leave them down below. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I read and I saw is that you'll be able to get the Virtual Console. You buy a membership like every month or so, and it seems like it gives you unlimited access to like the old Nintendo games. However, if you run out of the subscription time, you won't have the games on your console. So that's kind of like a big letdown, because the Wii U, you're able to play all those old school games that you can purchase a lot of the old school Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, as well as Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games, as well as the 3DS has the same thing. But I didn't like that, because sometimes I would like to buy, say I want to buy Super Mario Brothers 1 or buy The Legend of Zelda or buy those classic games. I mean, although I have them in cartridge format, I would like to buy them, as a virtual console to have, since this is a very portable system, take them wherever I go, play them on the TV as well. So that really, really is not a cool thing. Maybe Nintendo will switch it later down in the future. The other thing, which is not a big deal to me, but it was to my son and it was to my family, was that, not a big deal to everybody, but it was kind of like a letdown, was that you can't access YouTube, you can't access Vudu, because we use Vudu for our movies. So it would have been great if we would have all that access, to have YouTube or YouTube Kids, for my son to watch cartoons in the console as well as play games. But for some reason, Nintendo hasn't really brought that out yet. I think they brought out Hulu, and that's about it, but I haven't seen them, or I think Netflix. I'm not sure if not even Netflix. So that's the other thing I'm not liking about that. But I mean, to me, it is a game console. If I want to do that, I have other options to watch it. I have my iPad. We have our Roku device. We have other ways, our other systems. I understand that Nintendo was probably making it. It's a video game console. It's meant to be to play games, not to, surf the web. You can't even surf the web either. So, so I understand, which is, it's a good and a bad. But for me personally, it doesn't really bother me. So that's one of the things that, would have been great if they added that. So another thing I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about the charging of the system is that someone at GameStop actually told me about a few weeks ago that you can charge the system with a USB Type-C charger. If you guys look right there, that's where it charges. And, my cell phone uses that charger, and I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's up to you if you want to try it. You try it at your own risk. I actually plugged it in the other day to see if it charged, and it did, but I didn't leave it that long. It was just kind of like a test. And, it seemed like it did it, but, I'm kind of afraid to try it. Maybe later down the line I'll give it a shot, and I'll let everybody know about it. But, however, you try it at your own risk, but he did say that it does charge with a USB Type-C. So that if that's the case, then it's great because I can carry the system. Even though the battery life is like 2-3 hours, I can still charge it with my phone charger, which is a good thing. So I'm wondering how you guys think the games run. So just to give it a little quick test, I'm going to play around. I think this game is pretty awesome. Hey guys. Y'all, and you see the Belle, Beauty and the Beast my girlfriend has. I'm using her cell phone, by the way. Yeah. So that's another way you can play the system. You could play it with that style, or you could play like with the grip that it comes with. I usually use the grip. I don't use the controllers by themselves. My son loves to play it with the controllers by itself.
Super Mario Odyssey!
As you can see. Oh, new outfits. Alright. Let's just go ahead and do a little quick play. The graphics on this system, I gotta say, they are somewhat good, pretty good, but I have other systems. I have the Xbox One, and I feel like the Xbox One is a bit more, graphically it's a bit more potent, and I guess it has to do with the fact that the Xbox One plays DVDs and Blu-rays, whereas obviously the Nintendo Switch does not. There's no place to put the DVD. Sorry you guys for the shaking. I'm just playing around a little bit so you guys can get an idea. I know you guys can probably see me in the background, but just to give you an idea. Yeah, this game's really fun, by the way. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. So let's exit out of there and let's try another. Let's try Mega Man. I'll give you an example as the reason why I don't like these controllers. Oh, I don't have the game. Well, let's try Bleed 2. This is a perfect example as to why I don't like the controllers for the Nintendo Switch. But obviously there are options out there for getting a different controller. So that's the really cool thing about it. I know you guys are seeing me in the background while I'm filming this. I apologize for that. But yeah, I'm just trying to give you guys a quick view. This game, by the way, is a pretty good game. I recommend it, and it's not that expensive. It's one of those cheaper games on the virtual console. So you'll see one of the reasons why. I miss having the cross controller. So, and for games like this that are like high paced, it's really hard to get the controls done. You can use a thumbstick, but the thumbstick doesn't give you that playability or that grip that you're looking for like in the regular controller. So yeah, this is, but overall, I can look past it. I mean, to me, it doesn't really bug me as much. But it's still, like I said, there's other options. I could get another controller, a classic controller. It's going to be wired or wireless. The wireless is going to cost me about $60, while the wired one, I saw it for like about a few, like $20, $25. So, I have options, which is a good thing. You have options. So overall, the big question, is this system worth getting? I would say yes. Personally, at first I was very skeptical about it. It took me a long time to decide whether or not to get the system. Like I said at the beginning, I kind of didn't like the fact that there weren't a lot of games out there. But there is a lot more titles coming out now. And that's a good thing. So I do recommend the system. I actually love the system. As a matter of fact, I think that not to be kissing up to Nintendo, but the way that you can have the console play on a deck and play it on your TV on your big screen, as well as play it anywhere you go, I think that is awesome. I think that, to me, growing up, I've always dreamed of having a console that can do that. During the times while growing up, I know that the Genesis, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Genesis Nomad. That was one of the consoles that I can remember growing up that I had, that allowed you to play on the TV as well as out and about. But like this system, it sucked up batteries like crazy. I remember having to replace a bunch of those six. It took, I believe, like 6 AA batteries, and if you played it for a couple of hours, they would dry up, and you would have to put more. So yeah, but I remember taking it to Mexico back in the days and having a lot of fun plugging in the Nomad and being able to take it wherever I went for the trip, whenever I had some downtime and I wasn't doing anything over there. So I think it was a great, it's a great idea. I love the concept that you can carry it anywhere. So I feel like moving forward in the future, some of these consoles should take that idea and that approach and do something like this, something portable as well as something where you can plug it in. I think it'd be great, especially for people like myself. Sometimes, nowadays have a very busy schedule, and, having the chance of being able to play this anywhere, virtually anywhere I can go, I think it's awesome, So, if this Christmas you're deciding to get this console, I mean, there's other options. I also have the Xbox One. I'm going to do a review of the Xbox One soon. Because that console is a great console. Unfortunately, I don't have a PS4 yet, but the Xbox One is another great console as well. So there are options out there. However, for kids, for young kids and everything, it's a Nintendo's always been a kid-friendly console, as well as for adults. I feel like it's a go. It's a great console. And is it worth getting it? I say it is worth getting it. So this has been Eric, the Bay Area Collector. I'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe, please like. Any comments, feel free to put any comments. I love to hear your guys' comments about the system, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.